King Herod Agrippa had a problem. He had already executed James, the brother of John, and the public loved it. Now he had the big prize, Peter. To ensure there were no mishaps, Herod didn't just lock him up, he assigned 16 elite soldiers to guard him. Peter was double-chained to 2 guards, sleeping in a cell within a cell. In a few hours, the sun would rise, and Peter would be led to a public execution. But while the empire slept, a different kind of power was mobilizing in a small house across the city. Today, we deconstruct the most famous prison break in history, an escape where not a single lock was picked, but every chain fell off. Herod Agrippa was a master of optics. He knew that killing the leaders of the early church would solidify his favor with the religious elite. This wasn't just a local arrest, it was a military operation. Why 16 guards for one fisherman? Because the authorities remembered that the apostles had a habit of disappearing from custody. Herod was taking 0 chances. Peter was buried deep within the fortress, behind 3 separate gates. Humanly speaking, there was no way out. No bribe, no tunnel, and no rescue party could reach him. The church was powerless, except for one thing. The text says, earnest prayer was being made to God by the church. At the midnight hour, the atmosphere in the cell changed. A light shone, but not from a torch. An angel of the Lord appeared. The most striking detail? Peter was so sound asleep, he didn't even wake up when the light hit him. The angel had to strike him on the side to rouse him. "Quick, get up!" the visitor commanded. At that moment, the laws of metallurgy were suspended. The heavy iron chains didn't break, they simply melted or slipped off his wrists without a sound. This was a surgical extraction. The guards, trained to wake at the slightest clink of metal, stayed under a divine anesthesia. What follows is one of the earliest recorded automatic doors. Peter followed the angel past the first and second guard stations, past men whose lives depended on keeping that door shut. They reached the iron gate that led into the city. The Bible says it opened for them of its own accord. In the Greek, the word is automatos, where we get our word automatic. Peter walked out into the cool night air of Jerusalem, still thinking he was dreaming. It wasn't until the angel vanished and the cold wind hit his face that he realized, the Lord has sent his angel and rescued me. The most human moment of the story happens next. Peter goes to the house of Mary, where the church is praying for his release. When he knocks, a servant girl named Rhoda recognizes his voice. But instead of opening the door, she runs back inside to tell the others. They don't believe her. They tell her she's crazy or that it's his angel. Here is the irony. They were literally praying for Peter's release, and when he showed up at the door, they lacked the faith to believe it. Peter had to keep knocking until they finally let him in. It's a reminder that God often answers our prayers faster than we are ready to receive them. The next morning, Herod's fortress was in chaos. The guards were executed, the king was humiliated, and Peter was miles away continuing his mission. This story tells us that no system of man, no matter how ironclad, can hold back a move of God. The gates will open, the chains will fall, and the light will find you in the dark. What iron gate is standing in your way right now? Do you believe that prayer can still trigger an automatic opening in our modern world? Let's talk about it in the comments. Subscribe to Scripturally for more stories of the impossible. I'll see you at the gate.